Oh, there's someone lying on the ground.
Look at how scary that is. Put the torch on. He's even one on the ladders.
Gary and Amica, a father-daughter duo from Scotland, usually produced cheerful travel videos about exploring Europe in their camper van. But in March of 2023, their channel took a chilling detour. During a visit to Tentsmere Forest in North Fife, Scotland, Amica told her father she could hear voices among the trees. As they searched, their flashlights revealed a nightmarish sight.
We just stopped and had a look in these woods. Look at how scary that is. Put the torch on. He's even one on the ladders.
Oh, there's someone lying on the ground. Without
Falling
any
over. Look at the one on the ladders going up the tree.
Oh, yeah, that's
What about the washing line over there to the left? Yeah, there. Keep it there. That is weird, isn't it?
one over there that isn't actually a person. There's a doggy there.
Even more disturbing were bizarre paintings nailed to trees and hanging outside a small cabin hidden in the woods. Other YouTubers have stumbled across this place, but no one knows for sure who set it up or why. Whoever created this forest nightmare clearly intended to frighten anyone who dared wander too close. As Gary and Amica tried to leave, headlights suddenly appeared, creeping down the forest path toward them. Gary tensed, half expecting the worst, but thankfully they reached their van safely and avoided whatever might have been waiting in that car. To this day, no one has solved the mystery of the Mannequin Forest. In April of 2019, a YouTuber named Jason shared a video on his channel, Appy Mountain Trekkers. In it, he documented his lone overnight journey into the mountains, a channel usually dedicated to hiking, camping, and braving the wilderness alone. At first, Jason's hike seemed routine, the forest peaceful as he climbed higher. When he reached his chosen campsite, he set up his tent, gathered firewood, and began preparing for the night as the last orange glow of sunset bled away. While waiting for darkness to fall, he tried his hand at carving a spoon. That's when he heard a sound drifting down from one of the mountain ridges, a noise so out of place it made him freeze. He brushed it off, muttering it must be a bird or a small animal rustling through the brush, and carried on setting up camp. By around 9 p.m, Jason switched off his camera and crawled into his tent, trying to sleep. But less than an hour later, he bolted awake, heart hammering, to a sound unlike anything he'd ever heard, a deep, wet, guttural cry echoing through the trees.
I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
Still rattled but unable to pinpoint what it was, he tried desperately to drift off again. But sometime around 1 a.m, another sound tore him from his uneasy sleep, the distinct impression of something circling his campsite.
Whatever it is, it's close. You hear that? Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter.
As his flashlight sweeps across the darkness in the bottom left corner of the video frame, 2 glowing pinpoints of light catch the camera. A pair of eyes, maybe 2 sets, glinting white and cold in the night. Predators like wolves or coyotes are known for their eyes reflecting like fiery lanterns. Dogs can reflect similar light, but at 1 a.m, deep in a mountain wilderness, the odds of a stray dog being out there were slim. Coyote and wolf attacks on humans are rare, but if there were pups nearby, Jason might have been in very real danger. Strangely, he seems completely unaware of the eyes tracking his every move as he scans the forest. Luckily, Jason survived the night. When daylight came, he filmed an update for his viewers, but never once mentioned the eyes that his camera captured, leaving viewers to wonder if he even knew he'd been watched. No further updates ever came about the incident. In 2021, Another YouTuber named Matt Field decided to spend a night inside a pitch-black cave in the middle of nowhere in Australia. He'd heard chilling tales from a friend who'd once explored the same cavern and dared Matt to stay there alone. Unlike many casual hiking channels, Matt's videos often take him to brutal, isolated places, surviving off nothing but the animals he hunts and the fish he catches. In the video, Matt admits he hadn't even brought water, hoping to find a natural source within the cave. 4 hours into the journey, he finally reaches the cave entrance and climbs down a man-made ladder into total darkness. As he crawls through narrow tunnels, searching for deeper chambers, he begins to hear pebbles shifting and soft thuds echoing from near the entrance. Soon after, faint footsteps shuffle across the stone. "It feels like something is watching," Matt whispers, his voice shaking. Things spiral into pure dread around 11 p.m. as Matt tries to eat his dinner, a simple can of baked beans.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God. That was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I got full goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that. Holy.
And the night wasn't windy. The massive metal chain shouldn't have been swinging unless someone or something was down there moving it.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even forecast. Holy. Oh my God. Look. You must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this is fucked. Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
But after a couple of hours, he chooses to stay near the cave entrance instead. Around 1 or 2 a.m., he begins to hear faint hissing, a hissing that eerily mimics human voices. He searches the entire cave, but finds no animals, no people, nothing that could explain the whispers. The scariest possibility is that someone might have been secretly living inside the cave, hidden in the shadow. Whatever the truth, Matt escaped at first light and has never returned. Meanwhile, the YouTube channel Roy normally shares videos about life off the grid, living from a truck and roaming through nature. The footage is usually peaceful and serene. But in December 2017, Roe uploaded something far darker, a moment of raw fear. He'd been car camping in a dimly lit parking lot when around 1:30 a.m., a hooded stranger began circling his truck. The man took photos of Roe's license plates, unaware that Roy was filming the entire encounter from the darkness inside his truck camper. For several tense minutes, the stranger skulked around, peering in windows and shining a flashlight into the shadows. When he tried to look into the side windows, Roe finally slammed his fist against the inside of the truck, startling the intruder into running away. No one knows what the hooded man was planning, but given his suspicious behavior, it might have been something much worse than just curiosity. Fortunately, Roy left the parking lot and spent the rest of the night somewhere safer. In 2018, a Canadian YouTuber named John, who runs the Lost Lakes channel, captured a moment that would terrify any solo camper. He was deep in the wilderness west of Chippewa, Ontario, where cell signals don't reach, when he awoke around 3:30 a.m. to the unmistakable sound of heavy footsteps pacing around his tent.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night. And then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound. And 45 minutes later, it's still pacing around out there.
Given that John was camping in bear territory, it's entirely possible a bear or another large animal was stalking him in the darkness. While bear attacks are rare, they're not unheard of. And other animals like moose or big cats can be just as dangerous if provoked. In situations like that, a thin layer of nylon is no defense against a creature weighing hundreds of pounds. Some argue it's humans who pose the bigger danger to lone campers, but in this case, the footsteps John recorded didn't sound human at all. To steady his nerves, John filmed himself showing his viewers the tools he'd brought for protection: bear spray, a hatchet, and an air horn. Near the end of the video, he admits his car is just outside the tent, but he can't find his keys and fears he may have left them inside the vehicle. Thankfully, John survived the night unharmed, though he never discovered what creature or person had been circling his camp. Another unsettling story comes from the channel Love Sundays, run by a solo camper named Sean. In September 2022, he uploaded footage of a night spent stealth camping in his van by a roadside in Cornwall, UK. Because camping there was technically illegal, Sean kept quiet and tried to stay under the radar. As darkness fell, he hunkered down, cooked dinner in silence, and tried to sleep. But around 2 a.m., a terrifying sound shattered the stillness.
I just heard something outside. Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying the handle.
In normal circumstances, police or rangers would knock, identify themselves, and ask you to leave. This person tried to get inside without saying a word. Fortunately, whoever it was left after a few seconds, leaving Sean shaken but unharmed. He left the area the next morning. Even for experienced campers, the wilderness, and sometimes the people you find there, can become the stuff of nightmares.